Welcome to the Feel Your Best Formula podcast. Are you over 40 and tired of struggling with your weight, dieting, and constantly feeling like you're starting over with nutrition and fitness? Do you wish you had more energy? Do you want to lose weight and finally keep it off for good? I'm Lil, a certified nutrition coach and former registered nurse. I too have been there, and at the age of 44, I decided I was done with fad diets and chasing a lower number on the scale. I was so tired of constantly starting over and wondering why I couldn't get lasting results. I became a nutrition coach and created the Feel Your Best formula for women who want to build muscle, lose fat, and keep it off for good. If you're ready to build a better relationship with food, the scale, and your body, let's build your formula for feeling your best. If you're new here, make sure to check the episode details for the link to my newbie starter guide. You'll receive an email straight to your inbox with everything you need to start building your Feel Your Best formula. I'm so glad you're here. Now let's dive into today's episode. Hello, welcome to episode 17 of the Feel Your Best Formula podcast. I'm Lil, of course, and today we are going to tackle an interesting topic. We will be chatting all about before and after photos, why we see them, how they influence us, and how we can pause and maybe think a little bit differently the next time we see one, especially if we're thinking about investing time, money, energy into whatever it is that is being promoted by the use of this before and after photo. Okay, but before we dive into that, I wanted to start off with an announcement. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, then you may have seen that I recently became a NASM certified nutrition coach. So behind the scenes for the past couple months, I've been working towards that certification. I took the course and passed the exam probably a week ago, a little over a week and a half ago, something like that. And I'm just so excited to make it official. To be honest, this was a really organic decision for me. You guys know I love food. I love helping people. Nutrition has been my passion for over a decade. And for some reason, I just never really took that next step. As a Beachbody coach, I did get certified in both of their nutrition programs, but those are just recognized by Beachbody. It's not something like NASM, where it's an international organization, and that course is like a college course. There's biology, chemistry, all the things that you really need to know to have a really strong grasp on nutrition, how nutrition works in the body, and also how to be an effective coach. And I just felt like that course was so, I don't want to say easy. A lot of the material definitely was review for me as a nurse, the biology, the chemistry, all that stuff, and the coaching aspect of it. It just really felt exciting and home for me. Like, this is what I should be doing. And it just feels like the right next step. So as I sit here sharing with you that I have the certification, in addition to actually taking the course behind the scenes, I actually had already taken steps with my Feel Your Best formula course and adding onto that nutrition coaching options. So back in January, I ran a beta test with my Feel Your Best formula course, which the women in that group, oh my gosh, it was such a wonderful experience seeing them learn how to implement healthy habits, and to have this course, which is going to be available to those of you who sign up for my 3-month nutrition coaching packages. It's going to be the secret sauce for you. It's not just going to be me telling you this is what you should eat and eat this, don't eat that. is going to be all about a very comprehensive, realistic, sustainable plan that works for you. And what I knew I wanted to do, what I've been working towards, is creating something that's customizable and individualized. My nutrition coaching is not a one size fits all. It's not going to be, oh, you work with me, you're going to be counting calories and macros. There is a variety of ways to effectively nourish your body, and I can help you choose what is best for you. I'll be offering personalized guidance and support. And if you take a look, I've put a link right in the show details here if that's something that you're interested in. But I really feel like this is just such a perfect next step, and this podcast was a huge part of me deciding to do that with the feedback that I've received, especially on the podcast episodes that talk about things like self-accountability and how to actually plan your meals for the week. And you guys have really enjoyed that content and reached out to me and said how helpful it's been. So now I can help you in a more individualized way. So I just wanted to share that, but having this certification is just really exciting for me because I know that I can help you with all of those things that you struggle with. So take a look at the link in the show notes, or you can head on over to my website and just click the nutrition coaching tab. But I'm really excited. The doors are open. If you're looking for some help, then let's connect. Okay. Now, you came here for a discussion on before and after photos, not to hear me promoting my nutrition coaching business. So here we go. With before and after photos, you've seen them. I know you have. Like, we've all seen them. They're out there. And anytime you're scrolling through social media, someone pops up with a before and after photo. Now, it could be someone with weight loss results, or I personally really love home transformations like DIY projects, remodeling, things like that. That's kind of like my little guilty pleasure, is to look at things like that. And could be like teeth whitening strips. Someone showing, oh, my teeth were yellow, I used this product, and now look how white they are. But there's all kinds of transformation photos. And over the years, if you follow me, you know, I have definitely shared plenty of my own, and I have definitely shared my Beachbody customers before and after photos. For many, many years, transformation photos were pretty much the number one marketing material I had for my business as a Beachbody coach. And ultimately, at the end of the day, my own success was deeply tied to how my body looked. And it had a huge impact on how much money I made and whether or not someone thought that the programs that I was representing could help them. And at the time, I thought that's how I should be doing things. It just kind of made sense. I had decided to become a Beachbody coach because I saw someone's before and after photo, and it really inspired me. It's just a very normal thing. And I mean, no matter what you're showing the transformation of, like I said, the teeth whitening or, you know, a room transformation or whatever, transformation is inspiring. And those photos are meant to be inspirational. I think on a deep primal level, we all want to improve, and change is exciting. And when we've been thinking like, oh, there's this thing I want to do, this thing I want to change about myself, and we see that someone has made that change in their life and been successful at it, then we feel inspired and we think they must feel a certain way. They must feel great. I think that when I achieve that same success, I'm finally going to feel good. I'm going to get that feeling that I've been chasing. So it's not so much necessarily about the look that we want to achieve, but it's how we think we're going to feel when we achieve that look. Does that make sense? And I totally get that, because it is true. We all know, say you have a really cluttered and messy bedroom and you clean it all up and you get it looking all nice, like something out of a magazine photo shoot, and you feel better, right? So that's where that inspiration from transformation comes from, where we really do feel better when we achieve something. And that is totally normal. I absolutely have been inspired by before and after photos. As I mentioned, that was what inspired me to start using Beachbody programs and become a Beachbody coach, because I saw a before and after photo and I thought, oh, if she can do that, I can too. And I honestly think before and after photos do have a time and a place, but I mentioned this on my Instagram stories, I think yesterday, and I have come to the decision that in my own nutrition coaching business, I will not be sharing my clients' before and after photos, and I will no longer be sharing my own before and after photos on social media. I honestly have not even taken a photo. I mean, if there's a photo of me, it's just because I was taking the photo for whatever reason. It is not with the intention to have a quote unquote before and after photo. There would be one major exception within my nutrition coaching business, which is once my client has reached where they want to go and they've maintained that and been really happy and been able to maintain those habits for about a year or so, then at that point, I would consider sharing their story. And here's why. And the truth behind before and after photos that you may or may not be aware of. Maybe this is something you've thought about, maybe this is something you've discussed, but number one, they can be really misleading. Lighting, clothing choices, the angles that the photos are taken at, and yes, some people blatantly use Photoshop, and sometimes it's pretty obvious, but they can all make the results appear more dramatic than they really are. And number two, sometimes the people in the photos intentionally gain weight before the before photo. And I will tell you, I have been there. Like, I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to eat whatever I want. I'm probably going to gain like 5 pounds. Then I'm going to take that before photo because I know that the Monday I'm coming back, I'm going to start XYZ program and I will have a before photo to show the progress that I made. But in reality, that extra fluff is really just from kind of eating and drinking a little bit more than normal for a week or so. And it would have come off naturally anyway because of, the way I normally live my life. And I've seen people intentionally gain even 60, 70, 80, 100 pounds, with pregnancy and stuff like that, where they just go completely off the rails. And they know I'm going to have this like huge dramatic weight loss story. And I especially think if you see someone doing this multiple times, there could be a little bit of intention behind it. I personally cannot imagine gaining 100 pounds with pregnancy. I feel like that would be really hard on your body. I know it absolutely happens naturally to some people. Hi, former labor and delivery nurse here. I get it. But I'm saying sometimes if someone is constantly using those photos, then you might want to question to yourself, what is the intention behind this? And is this dramatic result something that's actually applicable to me and my situation? So, number 3, sometimes the person in the photo may have not even followed the program their photo is being used to promote. I saw so many instances where people would actually grab people that I knew within Beachbody, their before and after photos. So someone from another company would go to their page and take their before and after photos and use that photo to promote their products. There's a lot of companies that have gotten in a huge amount of trouble. There was even a gym franchise that got in trouble for stealing a Beachbody coach's transformation photos and saying, oh, this person got these results by going to my gym. So the photo that you're seeing may or may not even be representative of whatever the product is that the person behind it is trying to sell you. Number 4, anyone promoting quick weight loss. So if you're looking at a before and after photo and they're saying you're going to lose 10 pounds in 3 days, or you're going to lose 20 pounds in 3 weeks, or like whatever it is, keep in mind that the person in that photo, if they did follow that actual plan, they used very restrictive methods to get those results. They lost muscle, they lost water weight, they lost fat. When you lose weight quickly like that, you are not doing it in a good way. You are losing beneficial body mass along with the fat. It's just everything's going to come off at once, and you are not just targeting fat loss in that situation. So you may be able to tell that they look smaller, but the reality is that they have sacrificed parts of, that weight loss process has not necessarily been a positive thing for their body. And number 5, this is the big one. And if you check on the person in the photo, there's a pretty big chance that after photo that they took when they finished that program, they might not look like that today. They may have gained back a little or a lot of the weight that they lost for that program. Maybe they did it with the intention of knowing, I'm just going to start another one soon, but maybe they completely went back to their old habits. The all in or all out mentality, the yo-yoing, is a very real issue. I'm absolutely not saying that everyone in a before and after photo is lying or trying to scam you. But what I am saying is look beyond that photo to decide if whatever that person is promoting is actually right for you. Does that make sense? So, for example, when I was looking for a new gym, this was before I actually joined Beachbody, and I had started working at a pharmaceutical company, and I wasn't able to get to my old gym or old classes because those were at like 9, 10 in the morning. And I was thinking maybe I can go somewhere where there's like a 5 a.m. boot camp or something. So I looked into this local gym, and they had awesome marketing. They had before and after photos that were just incredible. People who had lost over 100 pounds, or people that had lost just like 30 or 40 pounds and ended up just looking in amazing shape. So because it was local, I reached out to friends who had been part of it and asked them what they thought. And they literally all said the same thing. They're like, yeah, you can get those results, but it was super restrictive eating plan. And a lot of the people would do this, I think it was like a 6 or 12-week challenge, and then they would just gain the weight back once they stopped going. Again, not to say that everyone had that experience, but overall, that was the feedback that people were telling me. Like, it's super restrictive and it's unsustainable. And yeah, they take that after photo. And I literally even saw someone in public that I had seen her after photo, and I was like, she does not look like that anymore. So once I got that information, I was like, you know what? I don't think that's the right place for me. Great for the people who that works for, but it's not for me. And it was all because I was even interested because they had that awesome marketing based on heavily, like this gym, every single photo on their Facebook page, their website was just transformation photo after transformation photo after transformation photo. There wasn't even that much information. Like, I was trying to look and see what the actual program was, but there was no information. It wasn't like, oh, you're going to lift weights and you're going to do cardio and you're going to have this eating plan. It was just those transformation photos. And here's the thing. This is why. Because photos are so powerful. They say a picture tells 1,000 words, and that's exactly true. Our brain immediately sees that photo and it tells us a story. And we're interpreting that photo based on our own experience and the way that we view the world. And we make up our own story about that photo. That photo creates a response in us, a desire and a belief that maybe we can feel the same way that person feels. We think we're going to feel a certain way when we get those same results. And we look at that photo, and what do we see? We see, this is a solution for me. But here's the thing. After years of using my own body as a billboard, I had just finally had enough of it with that type of messaging. I had seen so many of my customers bounce around with their weight, and hearing them be so down on themselves just for gaining back 5 or 10 pounds and constantly chasing a number on the scale or giving up entirely, it just made me wonder, like, what are we even doing here? Chasing these goals that at the end of the day, it's kind of like we're chasing our tail. So, and again, that's not to say that every single person had that experience, but I personally felt like to have most everyone have a sustainable long-term maintenance of their goal is how I want to help people. I don't want to help people just quickly lose a few pounds, lose a lot of pounds in a short amount of time and then just give up and go right back. I am here for realistic, sustainable solutions that work in an individualized way. And with a cookie cutter program where you're following a specific set of rules, specific set of foods, specific way of doing things, we need more flexibility than that. And those people that it does work for is because that actual plan, it is a good fit for them and they are able to maintain it. And that is wonderful for them. But for the 90% of the people who do it and are not able to sustain it, then we really need to look at other solutions. And if you listen to my podcast on self-accountability, yes, we all have a personal responsibility to figure things out on our own. But the fitness, diet, nutrition industry also has a responsibility to provide sustainable solutions and just not try to get people with these before and after photos. So chasing an after photo might work for someone, if you're competing in a bodybuilding competition, but what happens when someone does a bodybuilding competition? Literally, it would be extremely harmful to someone's health to continue to maintain the body composition that they achieve for a bodybuilding contest. So even those people, they're not walking around every day. They do that for one day for a body competition and then it's over. But how we look is truly the least interesting thing about our health. How attractive we feel, our confidence, it's all related. But when it comes to your health and what health actually means, how you look has absolutely nothing to do with it. And think of how many people out there are just, technically, society would deem them absolutely beautiful men and women who still suffer from depression, anxiety, body dysmorphia. We associate being skinny and beautiful with being happy. But how many beautiful people are tortured souls? And think about people in history like Marilyn Monroe, who, she is an icon of beauty and yet had such a sad actual day-to-day life when so many women admired her and probably thought, oh my gosh, if I could just look like her and be her, then all my problems would be over. So yes, it's how our brains work. We see a photo, we immediately start thinking and connecting with what that image means to us. But at the end of the day, is that really what health is about? I mean, how many people lose weight and it's actually a serious illness? It's actually something like cancer. And people are like, oh, you look great, you're losing weight. But it's not for a good reason. Skinny does not equal healthy. So I really want you to think about a photo. Next time you see a before and after photo, is that the reason that you should start some sort of health and wellness program, maybe a weight loss program, maybe a workout program? Is that before and after photo the reason that you should do it? Instead of just looking at that photo, I have a few helpful questions you may want to ask. You can ask this of yourself and try to find the answers, or you could always reach out to the person representing the product and see if they will give you answers and if those answers are what you're looking for. But forget about the person in the photo and instead look at what they're actually representing. Is the plan or solution that they're telling you gave them these incredible results restrictive, low in calories? Is it a detox? Are they saying that you need to take all these questionable supplements? How are they saying they got these results? Is this plan being marketed to cure a chronic illness like thyroid disorder, gut health, all these, things that are trendy now on social media. And if you do have a thyroid disorder or an issue with your gut health, that should be treated by a medical professional. A diet is not going to fix that for you. Is the person or company promoting whatever this plan is actually qualified to help you? I know right now there's been a few influencers in the fitness industry who have gotten in big trouble because they were selling plans and programs and they had zero qualifications or any sort of educational requirements that you're supposed to have if you actually want to be providing people with these types of plans. So is the person promoting it because they're saying, look at my hot body and you can have this body too if you do what I do? Or do they actually have the educational qualifications to back it up? Number 4, if I saw the information provided about the program, plan, or product that this before and after photo is representing, would I still want to do it? And is this a way of living that I could see myself doing for the long term? So if there was no photo and you just looked at the information and they're like, oh, you're going to eat 1,000 calories a day and you're not going to eat dairy and you're not going to eat gluten, all those things that you see all the time. If you just looked at the description of what it is, would you actually want to do that? And is it something that you could do for the long term? So these are just a few questions. There's more that you could ask yourself, but it's all about thinking critically. And when they're showing you a before and after photo, and again, I've been there, I have done this, I have hoped that I could help people by showing them my results. And even though I was doing it in a way that I was like, I want to help people. I want to show people that they can make change. I want to show them that they can lose fat. And I know that I can sell them this program if I look a certain way, and then this program can help them. So it's just this whole process that we go through when we share these before and after photos online. And like I said, I'm aware that I used to do it. And what I'm saying is I now know better, and I'm not judging anyone who still does it, but I'm saying it's not the right fit for me. After really having a chance to, I guess, reflect on what health really means to me, my family, seeing my husband have a stroke and really realizing that without our health, we have nothing. It really was the catalyst for me really starting to think about how I was talking about health and wellness and how I was trying to help people. And that's why I took a step back from what I was doing. And little by little, by working on myself, by changing the way that I've been doing things, and now ultimately educating myself even to an even higher level, I really started to decide this is the way that I want to represent how I can help people, and this is not what I want to do. And before and after photos are definitely in line with what I do not want to do. I said, except unless I have someone that really maintains, so it would be at least a year from now before I showed any sort of transformation photo from my client. And those types of photos do have a time and a place somewhere, but I think we need to look beyond a photo when we're making choices about our health, because first and foremost, realize that just because one person got a certain result does not mean that we're all going to get the same result. You and I could do the same exact workouts, eat the same exact foods, and you and I are not going to get the same exact results, especially if it's a one size fits all. If they're telling me to eat the same exact foods, same exact calories, same exact breakdown as you, and we don't weigh the same, we don't have the same activity level, then we're not at all going to get the same results. So that's why a one size fits all is not something that I'm going to be offering or suggesting for people. One thing I know is I want my clients to know they're not being pressured to get a certain type of result. And Also, guess what? Sometimes your leanest self is not necessarily your healthiest self. Like I said, think about those bodybuilders. Skinny does not equal healthy, and that's not my goal personally or professionally. I'm not here to get as skinny as I can get, and I'm not here to help people to get as skinny as they can get. So with all this being said, and I hope everything I said here made sense, sometimes I talk on this podcast and I'm like, I feel like sometimes it's just all gobbledygook. It's just, I get, my brain just starts talking. And so think twice the next time a before and after photo pops up, and look beyond that photo and decide if you really want to invest your time, your money, and your energy on whatever it is they're representing, if you're tempted to buy it. And if you listen to what I have to say here and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I kind of want to approach things differently, then make sure to check out my nutrition coaching packages. I'm going to, like I said, put a link below in the show description, and you can just see what I have to offer. But I'm definitely going to be doing things differently if you've worked with me in the past. Obviously, this is not going to be Beachbody programs. This is me providing you with a realistic, sustainable plan. And not to say that some of the Beachbody programs cannot be realistic and sustainable, but I'm moving forward towards a different way of doing things. And I am just really excited about being able to offer this type of support and just moving forward. So thank you so much for listening today. If you have any commentary or want to pop me an email with anything that, you want to comment on in regards to the show, you can always find me, lil@liliuslewis.com. All right. Have a great rest of the week, and I will see you here next Monday. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of the Feel Your Best Formula podcast. If you haven't already, make sure to check the episode details for my new listener starter guide, and any additional resources mentioned in the episode can also be found in the show notes on my website. You can always find me on Instagram @macroswithlil, and for more healthy lifestyle tips, recipes, and information on my one-to-one and group coaching services, make sure to check out my website. All the links can be found below. If you know someone else who is ready to start building their formula for feeling their best, please share the love and send them a link to the podcast. I hope you found today's episode helpful, and I'll see you back here next week for a brand new one.